would have a place. He would have a pizza place in South LA on every single street outside of where the University of Southern California is. By the way, I never got this one thing before I get JAKIB up. I went on a recruiting trip because Garry Cobb, right here, Stanford, right here tonight. I went on a recruiting trip, right? Why you guys got a big old screen? That's Watsil's on the other side. Some guy named McGee, who was the AD back then, he goes like this. Yeah, that's Watts on the other side. We want to keep USC in the room here. Let's bring in the former Trojan and Eagle. My God, what would Garry Cobb make at today's nil? Gary, I think you'd be a good, cool million, man, if you were out here in today's NFL or today's college football.
It's an amazing time, boy. I just tell you, the things that are going on. But you know what? I really could have predicted it, though, because, there were things going on underneath. You know what I'm saying? There were underneath things going on, and it wasn't just, where, they went throwing the kind of numbers now, but, there's rumors that.
Yeah. Hey, well, wait a minute. I'll say this to you. When you were playing there at USC, there was a school in that neighborhood, UCLA, and they had a guy by the name of San Gilbert who was, I don't know, they called him Papa somebody.
Yeah.
Who was given, I don't know how Jabbar and Walton got there.
We had, there were guys that were, around the USC program, some really guys that were very, very doing very well in the entertainment business, and making movies and all that. We had a lot of those guys, and they like to win. They like to win.
Hey, Gary, do you like, real quick before we get to the Eagles, do you like where the program is right now, Southern Cal, that they're now going to be competing in the Big Ten? That's got to feel weird for you after being a Pac-8 guy.
It's tough. I mean, they're really asking a lot, and they really got to get better up front. They do have skilled people, but to go in the places you're asking to go into now, you need big physical people to come in there, and they got, and they just haven't been as physical, and that's what's really happened out west is they haven't been able to recruit where you put together those type of lines and the D line like that, where you got big athletic, people, the best in the country. And so that's really what has to happen for really them to compete. Because you think, I mean, you're flying all the way across the country, to play these great teams, you got to go, you're going to fly into Ohio State, Michigan, fly halfway around the country and go in there. You had better be coming in there with some monsters.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to do that as of yet. They're working on it, but it's tough, man. And they really, we would have loved to make some of them trips. We didn't have no problem going anywhere,
No, not with that old line and that defense that you guys.
But you really, boy, now you talking about you really got to recruit, and now it's gotten to where, it's about the money, man.
Yeah,
you got to be able to put some money up, some serious stuff, and they can, but it hasn't been easy, and I can't say they're on the level where we were at, man. That's
no way
where you go out there and do that kind of recruiting and things, and it's tough. It's tough.
You guys were 5 deep at every position when you.
We had a lot of players. I mean,
you were at least 5 deep. Hey,
and they were able to really what they did really is they really did a good job of getting these whatever the colleges where they guys would start off at a major college. See?
Oh yeah, junior college kids. They would get them like the Arizona Western. You would get those kids out of there. You would send those kids down there. There was some of
the guys had some challenges with their school, with their grades.
Let's say this: Arizona Western. Yeah. When I was in high school, Arizona Western was feeder to USC.
That's right.
And what USC would do is they'd send these kids down there, and they go, "Look, you go here. We're going to take you." Yeah. John Robinson had a real big connection with that Texas Western program.
That's right. And they would tell the guys, "Look, we're going to pick up them grades, right?"
Yep. Yeah.
We're gonna pick up those grades, right?
That's right.
We got to get them grades up, you guys, right?
Last question for you on that. Did you enjoy playing at the Rose Bowl or the Coliseum more?
The Rose Bowl, because we didn't play there that often. We just played there just for the, the Rose Bowl game.
That's UCLA's home.
Yeah, but man, to play out there, you see all those people, man. You come out there, which we had the same kind of people there at Coliseum, but we didn't play at the Rose Bowl only, for that the Rose Bowl game. So
or the UCLA game, right?
Yeah, well, really, UCLA didn't get in there until I was out of there.
Oh, okay. Hey, what was your record versus UCLA?
Well, I think we lost them once. I think we lost to them once. Yeah.
So you got them 3-1. You were 3-1.
But they had some good teams, man.
Oh, yeah. No.
They had some good players, man.
Vermeil was there.
But we used to beat them and then go up there and hang around on their campus too. All
right. So I'm gonna start this off. I had a topic today, and I'm gonna ask you: does it seem to you, because it seems to me that what their actions have done, that the Eagles are looking more towards the 2026 team than they are the 2025 team? And what I mean by that is, look at the moves that they have made with these dollar Timu type signings of players.
Yeah.
And yet, here's the comments. We got a lot of young players we got to pay. We got Jalen Carter we got to pay. We don't know if we don't have to pay Nolan Smith. We don't know when we have to pay potentially Cooper. They're talking always about the future, but nothing about now. Do you feel that they're kind of putting the 2025 team as kind of like collateral damage to strengthen?
No, I don't feel that way because I know Howie. Okay. Howie Roseman, all those picks, you believe he's going to utilize those picks? He's not. He will bunch them. He's done this in the past. He's gonna eyeball guys that can come in here right now and start. See, so that's what he's got his eye on. Whether they be players on other people's teams who might be having some kind of problem or something, he will trade players and picks, especially the picks though. And he's got a bevy of picks. And so I think that they're going to do things like they're going to eyeball somebody in that first round, and they're going to go up and get somebody they know can come in right now and be a factor, that they can come in and start and play. I don't think they're going to sit at 32. I think they're going to come up. I think they're going to get somebody. I think they're going to make a move that way, and they're going to look at players, players that are out there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they would trade some picks from next year. See, but they are interested in winning now. He's not interested in just drafting a bunch of players. He wants guys that can come in and help him. So the guys in those early rounds, like they did last year, they got 2 key players in the draft that came in right now, help them win a Super Bowl. But they were able to play right now. So they need help on the defensive line. Clearly, they're probably looking, and like I said, they got their eye on somebody. I think they're going to try to move up in that first round to get a player either at the defensive tackle or a defensive end where he can come in and play right now and be a factor. I think that's what they're looking for. And suppose they have to give up 3 picks for it or something, but they got a guy that can help them now because they want to go back. They know, look, they got all these pieces in place to win a Super Bowl, and I think they're going to be going at. That's the Howie I know. This is the way he does, and so he's got his eye on somebody right now. I bet you, Gary.
Okay, if he has his eye on somebody, is that a current player in the league, or is that a player in the draft like he did with AJ a couple years ago, where he takes that 32nd pick, and he goes, and I'm spitballing here. He goes to Cincinnati and Duke Tobin and goes, "You want to trade for Trey Hendrickson?" And you send that 32nd pick down there because they need O-line help in Cincinnati and D-line help. Do you think that they do something potentially like that? What's more likely? You think it's somebody in the draft, or do you think he gets enough help at 32?
Well, that's the thing. I know that they this is a pretty good draft for those D linemen. That from what I understand, they've weighted it kind of high. So because some of these kids they really feel can come in and play on this level and be exceptional, then that's a guy they've got for 3 years. They don't have to pay. See, now they know if they get Hendrickson, you got to pay him.
Yeah.
He's gotten to a point now where they got to pay him. So I think they would like to have a draft pick. They would like it to be one of them, but the kids got to be good enough and ready to go. From what I heard, some of these kids, they feel very good about them being able to come in and contribute and be a factor, But what they need is somebody that can rush the passer, either from defensive tackle or, of course, coming around the corner. And I think that they're going to try to get them, and they would like to, make that move and get a guy where they in that first round, they swoop up to whatever it is, 15, 16, whatever. If that kid is dropping, you better believe Howie's on that phone. He's on that phone. He sees that kid dropping, man. They got their eye on somebody, and this is the way they've normally done it. They've done it numerous times. In fact, come on, they did it.
Devontae Smith.
With Jalen Carter. Come on, Jalen Carter, they moved up, Yep. And so, they'll be looking at guys, they think, can this kid come in and be getting pressure on the quarterback and beat these pro defensive, offensive tackles, offensive guards? Can somebody come in and beat them one-on-one? Because they're going to get them one-on-one because you got Carter there. They're doubling him. If a kid can beat a one-on-one, that's who they're looking for in this draft, and I think they're going to go try to get. They're not waiting till next year. You better believe that it's not going to be next. They want to do it now. They know how important it is because they got the other pieces here. See, you got the offense already here. They need some defensive pieces. They got plenty of people in the secondary. They need defensive tackle, defensive end. They lost them, and they got some other guys that could be. Could grow into players. They're on the edge. They got some young guys, but they would like to get somebody could come in and play this year.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So I kind of proposed this after the whole Derek Carr thing happened. So you're sitting at 32.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, if you're New Orleans gets their guy at the top of the draft. They pick a guy of a need at the top of the draft, maybe the tight end up there. Maybe they get in line to take Travis Hunter. They make a trade. I don't know what they do. Then Kellen Moore, because you've moved off of Derek Carr, don't you call Kellen Moore and Mickey Loomis, the GM, and say, tell you what I'll do. I'll take your 39th pick this year. You give me your first round pick next year. And I'll give you Tanner McKee, and you get my 32nd pick so you can take Jackson Dart. Or you can have two quarterbacks with one because you had success with him quarterbacking last year as the OC. And next year, because let's face it, the Saints could be sorry next year. Yeah. You might have a 5th pick in the draft next year along with yours. And all those compensation picks, could you see him going down to 39, grabbing an edge rusher down there that falls like a Jack Sawyer, whomever, you grab again with another second, and you get next year a first. You've got 2. You get your edge and your DT at the top of the second round. Yeah. And you get a first-round pick next year. Or you call the Giants. The Giants get Travis Hunter with the 2nd or 3rd pick. Then at 32, you need a quarterback. Russell Wilson's not going to cut it. You grab your Jalen Milroe. Give me a 1 next year. Yeah. I think he's sitting in a pretty good seat down there at 32 for teams that may need a quarterback, depending on how you value the quarterbacks that are in the draft. Could you see him kind of playing around and doing some setup for 26 again in the draft and still helping the team this year?
Well, I could see him doing that without a doubt. I could see him adding But I think this year is a priority. I think this year is a priority. I think he's looking at this year as if, well, I'll get to that when I get to it. And he could add some people, but they've got so many picks. They got a lot of picks.
They got 20 in the next 2 years.
Yeah, they got a lot of picks. So I think what Howie is doing is Howie's looking at all these kids that and they're supposed to have a bevy of them. Now I've seen them, but it's hard to look at these kids. Yeah, you get into the quarterback, but this kid's blocking you. It's horrible, So you got to be able to go down there. And I haven't been in a workout where I'm sitting there looking at this kid. I want to see how he is. How big is he really? Because some of the guys write one thing. You look at the kid going, wait, this kid isn't whatever. So they're taking a good look. And now if I had some guys I could hire right now, follow Howie's butt all over the place, him and all of his scouts, okay? Because they're going out and they probably send a few of them to take a look at a guy they're really interested in. They're not going to send one scout. They're going to send 3 or 4 of those guys, work him out, have him do some extra stuff because they want to be sure about a guy. But I think they're going after somebody in that first round that they think can come in, help them win another Super Bowl. I'm telling you, this is what they're thinking because they got all these other pieces in place. I mean, look at all they've got. They just say, boy, if we could get a kid that can come in and beat this guard. He can beat this guard when he's one-on-one because they're doubling Carter. He can beat this guy one-on-one and get pressure and make the quarterback move. We think we can win another Super Bowl. That's what they're thinking. You can tell up there, this is the way Howie is. He's not going to be thinking about, now he's going to try to do what he can next year. And if he can, he will go ahead and get some quality picks and things. But I'm telling you, they got their mind on another one. This is what yeah.
I got two last ones here for you. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, how high do you think he'd be willing? 5 picks? 10 picks? Because the higher up, more equity. And I agree with you, Gary. He's not using 20 picks.
That's right.
In the next 2 years. He's not using
those picks. That's right.
Okay. How high would you go up if there's somebody like, I don't know.
I think Howie would try to go to 15 if he had to. He would go all the way to 15.
Wow.
He would try if he had to. What is it? Whatever it's going to cost. Now, the thing is, see, this is the thing they're doing. You got to find out what do these other teams, what are they hot for? You know what I mean? It's like you got a buddy. What kind of women does he like? You know what I mean? Hey, if this brunette is blonde or whatever, whatever he's in, he likes, a thick woman, whatever, you find out. I'm serious.
Well, I'm more of a Sierra type. I'm more of a Sierra type of guy, so that's just me.
but if you're sitting there, come on, just with the guys, that you play with, you sit there. If you got a guy gonna start running his mouth. Oh man, you could be walking on the plane. So, oh man, did you see that? Relax, man. Relax, dude. Relax. You find out what kind of women this guy likes. I mean, you're gonna find out if you're around him enough. These guys will start talking. It could be one of the stewardesses. Oh man, dude, relax, man. Relax. So they're gonna try to find out what these other teams want. And like another team could be looking for a receiver. And they could try to help them get in position to get that particular receiver, but they'll get into the guys get into their mind. And Howie's done a great job of this. In fact, I don't know why the other GMs even talk to him because he takes them to the cleaners,
especially the Saints.
Yeah, come on, he takes them to the cleaners. He finds out what they want, and he realizes, oh, hey, now these guys are sleeping. Okay, we can take these guys to the cleaners. As he ends up cleaning their clock and getting another player. You're going, how did Howie do that? Howie's got to be doing something. He's following these guys at home at night or something. What is he doing, man? Putting something in their food? But he gets them all the time. I think he's going to try to do the same thing. So I would say I would really be thinking of him moving up in the teens. If somebody that they're hot for is dropping down, He'll move up there and cut a deal, and they'll think, hey, we got another pass rusher, and we're gonna try to win this thing again.
You sold me because I like him thick. I'm going Walter Nolan. I got one last one. I got one last one for you.
Yeah,
here. Dude, what do you do with Bryce Huff? What do you do with him?
Well, I think they're doing just what I was just talking about. Is that he's talking to GMs. Hey, what do you think of Bryce Huff? Hey, we had that kid up on our board or whatever. We really like him, but we just don't have any room for him. What would you guys be interested? And he's going to end up trying to get something for him.
Hey, listen, I heard that the Chargers would be willing to take the guy on if Roseman takes up some of that dough, and they take like 30% of that money. You send him back a sixth, and you send him out to Los Angeles. You get him off the roster. I mean, I think he can get rid. I think you can get rid of anybody, Gary, if you're willing to eat some of the dough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the Eagles have been, with the finances. That's one thing that Jeffrey Lurie has done is he's been willing to spend money.
Yeah,
in order to be, be up there on that top. So I think they're going to go after. Then I don't think they're, 2026. That is on its own. I think they're going after another one this year. So expect them to move up in that first round. And well, I don't even think. But I hear people talking about. I don't see how they would do this. Is going over there sniffing around T.J. Watt.
I heard that, and I wasn't going to bring it up to you, but I mean, here's what I say to that. I mean, if you're looking at T.J. Watt's already written it on his social media that it looks like this is going to be it. I mean, would you think about dropping something over there to go grab that kid?
Without it, they're going to go over there and talk about it. You better believe they are.
Don't they have an assistant coach that's in that building now that used to work in Philadelphia now, and I don't know how that doesn't make sense. At least to find out what they want.
I don't know how Howie does it. Like I said, he must get pictures on people. He follows the guy. He's going on now. I'm on. Hey, you know where you were at last night. I don't know what he does. But Howie has taken guys to the clean. Look at A.J. Brown. Come on. He got him from Tennessee, man, for, not even a high first-round draft pick. Come on. How do you give up a guy like that? But
I have to sneak one last one in on you here now. Please. You correct me. You know this man a hell of a lot longer than I've been covering him.
Yeah.
So I heard Brandon Graham say this. Okay. I'm 90% retired. And, I went to Howie and went like this. Howie, what do you want me to do? And when Brandon said, I really think, this is Howie, supposedly the message, isn't this a storybook ending? And I'm thinking, okay, Howie Roseman retired Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
He told him in so many ways, hey, look here, man, we're turning the page. We're getting younger. As much as we like you, you're 36, 7 years old, 16 years. Thank you for your service. We won't be needing you in so many ways. Because, I don't know, man, it just sounds like Brandon wanted to play another year, and Howie went, this is a storybook ending.
Well, let me say this. I heard he was up there working out. Now he's got, he hurt his arm. So he's supposed to be, is he rehabbing the arm or is he training, what is he doing to play, but like I said, he's up there working out. So, we'll see what happens.
You think it's 50-50 he plays this year?
You know what I was saying about the defensive line.
Yeah.
They figure if they get what they need from that defensive line, they think they can win this thing again. So, he's up there walking around all the time. You can't go up there without running into Brandon. You can't go up there without running into him. So he's working out. I think he's insurance. I without a doubt, I think he's insurance. I don't think that it's beyond that they would say, hey, Brandon, man.
You think Vic is chirping in his ear too?
Well, like I said, he's up there working out.
Vic likes him.
Yeah, he liked him. Yeah, and the thing that he's doing, he's up there working out. He had to rehab because he hurt his arm in the Super Bowl, so he had to be up there working out anyway. So you got a guy that, you know, he was having a great year last year.
He was, and by the way, the game he got hurt in, that Ram game, he was the best player on defense on the field in that game.
Yeah, so you know he's up there working out. Like I said, he's rehabbing that arm. But you know he's working out, so he's where he's supposed to be anyway. If they need him, you know, I wouldn't. That's not, you know the way guys have done this before. This is not. If a guy's around there, he knows, and people are comfortable with him and everything. All they got to do is say, "Hey, Brandon, they want to see you up in the office, man."
Hey,
you know?
How he wants to add another chapter to the storybook ending.
If they can get it done, they think that if they can get that defensive line, they got it. They going after the same. They don't see any reason why they shouldn't do it again.
He might be a nice rotation piece, man. I mean, I'll tell you
what. That's what he was doing last year.
Compared to the guys you sign, I'll take him over them, dude.
The thing about it is, Brandon, come on, how smart is he right now? All of the experience he has, the anticipation, and we've seen it in the games that, no, he's not faster or stronger than he was before, but he's smart.
Yeah.
And so he can anticipate things. He knows before the play even happens. He has an idea of what they're getting ready to do. And that kind of thing, you know, you can't buy. I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's valuable, especially in big games, you know, especially in big games.
Absolutely.
So we'll see.
I'm gonna get me a shirt that says "Big Booty." How you doing, JAKIB?
Hey, you know how some guys are, man.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know the boys, man. What?
Hey,
oh, man. Would you guys relax?
Exactly what you're talking
they look,
about.
Hey, man, everybody relax, okay? Everybody.
Hey, you see her over there?
Hey,
right, I do. We're good.
Hey, you know the boys, man. You know it. Hey, you know the boys.
I know how that works. JAKIB, thank you, brother.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
That is my good friend JAKIB, Fox 29. Make sure you check him out, covering the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, man, that's some good insight there. JAKIB talking. Brandon Graham's working out. Huh. BG. Back another year? Gotta get that. I gotta get that going there. Yeah. Look at that. Look at this, sir. JAKIB cheered me up after Angelo took a piss on the entire. Oh, that's what we do. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Yeah, you working out too? Yeah, I know what you're working out, Gums. M. Reyes is working out. He's working his gums. Chop, 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 chop. Yeah, working out. Yeah, this guy's working out his fork. Yeah. Working out his fork in his beer drinking hand. I'm working out too, Sales. Yeah, me too. Here's M. Reyes working his gut. Okay, he's sitting in his couch and he's eating like a barbecue sandwich. Doing gut crunches there, eating a BQ sandwich. How you doing? Angelo is in need of an antidepressant. Yeah. Holy cow. He's right, though, man. Nick Chiriani. He's working out his hand. I don't know. It's holy time. Kyle, sorry, I'm not going down that road. It's Holy Week. Give me a break. I'm going to try to behave myself. My boy Xander's going to be next. Let me get this in here. I got to pay some bills. Holy cow. 2 hours and 48 minutes. Big Sills is just chucking along with you. Hit that like button, homies. All right. Don't forget my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, America's #1 injury law firm in America. Unbelievable on what they're doing for the great folks in California out west. Try to get their value back on some of the insurance companies that ended up canceling their homeowners insurance so that they can get property damage back. They're absolutely servicing those folks. Down in Florida, I told you about the family was offered initially from an insurance company 600 or 350K. They ended up getting 12 million back for them. Team of thousands are there for you at Morgan & Morgan right here in PA. 650K offered to a family, nearly $30 million returned. That's what their resume is. Look, if you're ever injured, please do me a favor. Check out my great friends at forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. FOR, the people.com/big sales or pound law 529, and do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric,